All right. So we are in Megillat Ruth, chapter 1, Pasuk Yud Bet, Pasuk 12.
Okay.
And until now, we spoke about the discussion. Last time I spoke about the discussion between Naomi and her two daughters-in-law. They both, all three of them, made their way back to the land of Israel after the famine was over there. And Naomi was trying to persuade them to stay behind. She was trying to...
Wait a minute, they're back in Israel. How could they stay?
They were not yet in Israel. They were just starting to walk on the way towards Israel. They got 40 steps, and then the discussion occurred. Not much, not far. And what she told them is that thank you. You were very kind to my sons, and you were very kind to me, because I'm the guarantor of your dowry. And nonetheless, it's not really right for you to come over to continue to go with me, because there is nothing there in the land of Israel for you. My people are not going to accept you, to have anything to do with you. So why not just go back to your mother's home, to your parents, and just be there and find a local man. You anyway, you didn't go through conversion. You're not Jews, so deal with your gods and your beliefs and just go back.
What made her think that she herself would be welcome from the place that they left in a hurry?
She would not. She knew she would not. And we saw that she was not. Mm-hmm. And so, even more so...
the lesser of two evils?
Even more so. Why come with me when I'm going to be rejected? Forget about you. I mean, there were several reasons not to go. Mm-hmm. And that's one of them, certainly one of them.
And she probably wanted to spare her daughter-in-law's rejection and suffering when they faced this.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Do you know how long they were married?
10 years.
Both of them?
Yes. They were married...
10 years and no children.
10 years, no children.
These were...
the two, Orpah and Ruth, and the two brothers, Machlon and Kilion.
So why was Naomi going back? Why didn't she stay there with her daughter-in-laws?
So she always wanted to go back. She was not the one that wanted to go out to begin originally. So first her husband, she went with her husband. She's a good wife. Yeah. Then the Tachshitim, the kids wanted her there, and then the Tachshitim died, and she had nothing there. She just suffered, punch after punch after punch.
Probably discrimination there too.
Yeah, but she had nothing to stay for. And she heard that the situation in Israel is much better. We are in Ruth 1:12.
12?
Yeah.
Plus of 12.
Yeah.
There are 4 pakim only. So then she was trying to persuade them. So we are in Pasuk 12. Before that, she started to tell them. So she got a whiff of the fact that at least one of them is looking to convert.
Before you go on, it just struck me. Meant to ask, when you were talking about they were married 10 years, no kids, blah blah blah. There's a halacha of the 10 years.
Yes.
That you divorce.
Yes.
If they're not.
Yes.
Married, no children.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Unless they die.
Right, but they died. They can't divorce after they died.
That usurps that halacha.
Right.
So,
that number 10 again came.
Yes, and the number 10 will show up again shortly. It will show up shortly again, because it's really 10 years after Elimelech died.
Oh. Not the
which
sons.
the sons married very soon thereafter, within months or weeks they got married. So it's 10 years since Elimelech died. In fact, it's 10 years to minus a day to when Elimelech died. And that will become another reason for her in this pasuk to tell them not to come.
So the boys were married after their father died.
The boys got right. They didn't dare do it while he was around. Because they married Goyet. So he left the land of Israel because of financial situation, but he was not really leaving the faith. So, okay. So we learned also that part of the conversion process, or the trying to persuade someone not to convert process, is to tell them, go away, go away, go away. So we had the two go-aways before. She said Shovna twice. Now we're going to say the last Shovna, where she trying like the last time. Now, if we pay attention, the two psukim before, it says, "V'tomala ki itach nashuv le'amech." They told her that they want to come back to the people, to the Jews. They didn't say yet that they want to come to the Jewish faith. They just wanted to come to the Jewish people, to live in the land of Israel with the Jews. So she's telling them, Shovna b'notai, for the last time, go away, please go back to where you came from, to your land, to your people. Lechna ki zakanti miyot leish. Now, כי אמרתי, יש לי תקווה, גם הייתי הלילה לאיש וגם ילדתי בנים. Here's the 10 years situation that you mentioned before is coming back. If someone is married and didn't have children and they died, there is an obligation to their brothers to marry to Yibum. Yibum. Right? So there is a responsibility for the brother to take the wife and marry her and try to maintain the name of the family.
But there's no brother here.
There is no brother. Now, what she's telling them, listen, even if you think that I can get married, go back to Israel, get married, and have more children, it's really might not work. Because this is the last day from the 10 years since the last time I had relationship with my husband, who passed away, right? And at least the medical know-how at the time dictated that after 10 years from having a relationship, after having children and not having a relationship for 10 years, there is no way that the woman can bear children anymore. And this was the last day. So she said, even if we rush now, it's I have to find a husband, get married, conceived. It's really not. It's not going to happen. So I'm too old to look for another husband. Even if I have a relationship tonight, halayla, the last night for the 10 years, and I'll bear, and somehow children will come out of that relationship. So even that's not going to work for you. Alahen tishaberna, are you going to hope ad asher yigdalu? Are you going to hope that they're going to grow up? And it's like a long time to. It's a long waiting list. Too long. Alahen teagena, are you going to not be able to marry someone else until the situation with the brother is resolved? Because the law is that if there is a brother and the brother is not marrying the woman, they have to do a chalitza. They have to release her. Now, when they're just a baby that was just born, they can't do no chalitza, right? So until something happens, they are gunot. Now there is, if we really want to look into the actual details of the situation, The halakha doesn't work when a brother was not in the world when the older brother died. So
he isn't obligated.
So he's not obligated. That's the ruling nowadays.
But they're not Jews.
Say it again.
But they're not Jews, right? It's that's what I'm saying. It's we shouldn't be splitting hairs on that right now because they're not Jews anyway. But just so as a general piece of information. So I'm very, very bitter because of you. What does it mean that I'm very bitter because of you? Because I feel bad. Ki yatsa biyad Hashem. She realized that everything has happened to her. The husband didn't suffer that the children died. He's dead already. And so she felt that all of the problems that came upon them is basically punishing her. So why should you, what?
I was going to say, do they say for what reason?
No, that's what she felt.
But it's really punishing her.
It really was punishing them. But she was sitting there and seeing, one die, two die, three die, She felt that, she's getting hit. And why should she drag down the two in-laws, the two daughters-in-law with her? So that was really the most emotional moment in this section. Vatisana, kolan, vatifkena od, and so they cried for the second time. Vatishak orpa lechamota v'Ruth dafka ba. And at that moment, that was the moment of truth, and Orpa decided to turn her orif, to turn her back, the back of the neck, to turn her back on her mother-in-law and walk away. And she came back, she went back to her family. And as we all know, Goliath came from her soon, a few generations later. So she did get married again, she did have children again, and Goliath came out of that relationship. And soon we'll see how that, why does it matter?
Yeah, but Goliath was a Philistine.
Goliath was working for the Philistines.
Okay.
She was a Midianite
He was a
who
gun
became.
for hire.
She was a Midianite who married a Moabite who moved to became a Moabite, and then her children helped the Philistines. It's even in this day and age, you can see in the Arab world what's going on. Sunnis from all over the world are coming to fight in Syria, and then in Iraq, and then in Syria, and then they're going all over the place, and they're looking for trouble. So it's just the nature of the beast. Anyway, so but Ruth decided to stick with Naomi and hung around. Vatomer ine shava. So Naomi tried one last time. We said, Vatomer ine shava yivimtech el amav el Eloheah shuvi acharei yivamtech. She said, now you have another reason to leave besides all the reasons that you mentioned before. Your sister-in-law is got her head screwed on right, and just follow her, because why do you bother with a nation which is not your nation, and with God which is not your God? That is the last time that Ruth is trying to persuade her. Vatomer Ruth, al tifgei bi leozvech. Don't continue to beg me. Don't continue to tell me to go away. It's interesting that the word lifgoa in modern Hebrew means to hurt. Here it means to beg. But it's basically the same. Like don't hurt my feelings. I really want this. And lashuv me'achar. So don't tell me to leave you alone and to go away. Ki el asher tilchin. And now we are starting a sequence of 1.5 psukim, which are loaded, which represents the entire conversion of Ruth. And we will see what does the text says, what does the Targum and Rashi, how do they explain it, And then there is some 47 years ago, the Rebbe gave a whole big talk about these few psukim and this particular Rashi, a whole interesting way of looking at that. So let's just start with the basics. Ki el asher tilchi elech, because wherever you go, I'll go. V'asher talini alin, and wherever you're going to sleep, I'll sleep. Amech ami, your people are my people. Ve'eloaich, Elokaich, Elokai, and your God is my God. And let's just finish the next pasuk. Ba'asher tamuti amut, where you going to die, I'm going to die. V'sham ekaver, and I'm going to be buried over there. I'm not going to do aliyah back to Moab with the casket, with the cast. Ko yaseh Hashem li v'ko yosif, that God should help me, and it should add strength to me. Ki hamavet yafrid beni ubenech, because only death is going to separate us, but nothing else. No daylight between us whatsoever. We're going to be the same people. So let's just in general, let's just look first of all at the Targum. Okay, the Targum is giving us an unbelievable interpretation of this, which is the basis of what the Gemara is saying and the basis of what Rashi is saying. It's written in Aramaic, so I'm just going to translate it straight to English. So Ruth said, don't beg me anymore to leave me behind, because I want to convert. The text doesn't say it. Te'eva ana li'itgaira. I want to convert. And so Naomi told her, you have to realize that you have to keep Shabbos and Yontif. And therefore, you cannot walk outside of the tchum, of the area, where we have an Eruv here, so we can go a little further. But usually, the law is that when sundown comes, on Friday evening, wherever a person is, they can go 200 amot to each direction, which is about 2,000 amot, which is about 1,000 yards, give or take. So, what? Oh, so that's what she tells her here, which is odd. I mean, that's the first thing? You shouldn't go outside of the tchum. What about, there are so many other mitzvahs that comes to mind that, Yeah, I mean, you have so many. Each one of you will come with the 5 other candidates that are seemingly better than don't walk outside of the Eruv, Don't go outside of the Tchum.
Pesach will do it alone.
What?
Pesach will do it alone.
Right, Pesach, exactly. And that's the time. Huh? And then it continues, the Targum continues, and you should know that you are not allowed. So these words are the interpretation El asher telchi elech. Walking, can't walk outside of the tchum, right? That's the equivalent of that. Then where you're gonna sleep, I'm gonna sleep. So she tells her you cannot sleep with anybody. You cannot have a relationship with any person. It has to be proper relationship with marriage, with it has to be.
She's not saying. She's saying wherever you go, I'll go and sleep where you
That's
sleep.
That's the.
So where does it come in to sleep with any man?
Right. That's one of the questions that we're going to ask. Why is that? Is the interpretation of that? How does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's very good. And then she continues that you have, and this is not written here. Oh, amech ami means amech ami, says the Targum. It means that we have 613 mitzvot to keep, And you have to realize that we have all these mitzvot and we need to keep them.
How do you get that from this sentence?
And that's
Because God represents whatever your God says.
that's the
No, but how
that
did Targum get this from
that's the question. That's the question. And then he says that what does it mean? Ve'elokai Elokai is that you're not going to worship other gods. That we understand, right? You should never. That's idol
It
worship
doesn't
is
say
a.
that. It says your God is my God. That doesn't imply that you're not going to worship other gods.
But that's one of the yeah, it is one of the rules that God gave us is Anochi Hashem Elokecha lo yeh lecha elokim
But
acherim.
it doesn't say that. Lo
It
yeh
does
Elokecha.
correct. Yeah, you're right. I mean, all of those
That's reading between the lines.
but all of those questions are legitimate questions, and we're going to
Because
address
we
them as a
know
whole.
this, but somebody who comes in and doesn't know this, you can't interpret that.
Right,
Well,
correct.
this is an advanced class, so we know this. Obviously, we're not
We're
beginners.
going from advanced.
Now wait, it's that's gonna blow your gasket. I mean, just wait. Now the next thing it says Bashet Amuti Amut. She's telling her, you know, that there are laws of that brings if somebody transgress or sins, they get capital punishment. 4 kinds of capital punishments. So you should know all of the capital punishments that. And then. V'sham kaver, not only that there is capital punishment for sinners, but after the sin, after they died, after Beis Din killed them, they have to be buried in a special plot. Those who happen to receive this kind of punishment, they cannot be buried with the general population. They have to be buried in a special plot. Yes. Yeah, but it's they put aside, and there are two sections. A section for the stoned people who were stoned, and a section of people who were burned, and a general, general admission.
Hearing this, she'd have to be crazy to want to convert.
There you go. Exactly. You're getting to the answer, though.
Yeah, I'm getting.
You got it to the answer. And so she told her, "Listen, don't. I'm in." So what was going on here? What's at play here? This is obviously. So first of all, I mean, if we look at it without the Targum, without the explanation of the Targum or Rashi, why would she start with wherever you go, I should go? She should start. I want to convert. I want to be. She's telling her.
No, isn't that just a poetic way of saying it?
So now she's writing songs now for the Eurovision. What is she? I mean,
Well,
she's
she
trying.
was being rejected by her. She was
For the
trying
top
to be
10?
Southwestern. She's saying, "I'm really in."
I'm really in. I'm into God.
Let me ask you this: today, when someone converts, they give him this whole spiel beforehand.
Exactly. If you look at the Rambam, that is exactly the spiel that everybody who is trying to convert is getting. They're getting a list, and in this order. They're getting a list of the mitzvot that they need to observe. They have the list of what happened if they don't. We will see in a second. Anyway, Ruth, in general, she was a very sweet lady. Naomi, not Ruth, Naomi.
Okay.
She was a very sweet lady, very darkei neimot. She was a very, very pleasant, very pleasant individual. And when the daughters-in-law wanted to come over, she had to reject them, which was against her nature. She always, she's a good Yiddish mame, She would give them, the Friday afternoon schnitzel and the challah and stuff. Yeah, but she had to go against her. She had to go against her nature and push them away. Why? Because she knew that, at least with Orpah, what she wanted to do is not a real conversion. She never said that she wanted to join our God. She wanted to join our people. She wanted a good Jewish husband. All right, I can understand that. But she didn't want all the obligations. And that is not a real conversion. This is just גיור על הנייר, it says. You know, you get a piece of paper.
Ger on the paper.
Yeah, get on the paper. Well, convenience, exactly. Convenience, it's really fake. You know, it's not real. And what would happen, Naomi not necessarily knew that that's what will happen, but we knew that that can happen. She saved us from a terrible, terrible situation with Goliath. What happens is when you have someone like Goliath, who is not a fine individual, and it says that when someone that's not a good guy has to come from someone, whether they had to come from a non-Jew or later if that person converted, they're still going to come out of them. You know, they still have it in their DNA, and that is set in stone. So imagine Goliath being part of the Jewish people, walking around in the streets of Tel Aviv, and inflicting harm from within. Because he would be Jewish, we would never be able to reject him and say, no, go away. It doesn't make sense. You know, we don't do that. But now when he was on the outside, okay, you know, so now you reveal your true face, and we can do what should be done. So by rejecting Orpah, not true conversion, she saved us from a very dangerous situation with Goliath. Now Goliath is on the outside. It's very clear. It's the truth that it's so amazing, that it's so apropos now. We have the story with Chok HaLeom in Israel. I mean, this is what everybody is talking about. It's crazy.
So David and Goliath were actually cousins.
Exactly. Fourth cousins, yeah.
So is that in the Tanakh about Goliath's background?
Yes. Well, in somewhere, yeah. I mean, in Divrei Yamim, I have to look. I don't know. I think so. I think it's in Divrei Yamim.
Huh?
I believe it's in Divrei Yamim. The annals of it. Anyway. Now, one of the things that someone who comes to convert needs to know, that the Jewish religion can look extremely cruel sometimes. But if you have a problem with that, just don't come. You know, write a nice letter to God and wait for an answer. This is not, you cannot come and complain to the Beis Din, you cannot come and complain to the people and say, well, that doesn't make sense. It's one of the examples that's given is, there is a pasuk, Avot yuchlu boser v'shinei banim tiken. I'll paraphrase it. The parents ate something spoiled, and the stomach is hurting to the kids. The kids have a bad stomach. And the point is that many times things that happen in this world look cruel, but God has his calculations. It's because a great-grandfather or a father or something did something wrong, so the kids are suffering. So imagine that someone has, God forbid, a hereditary disease. It is terrible. And it's really cruel, Why does he have to suffer? Because the father had, some bad gene, So maybe all of the doctors can get together and say, this is cruel, that should not be. It's laughable, it's not going to work this way. The same thing if someone decides that someone is going to get stoned because they just lit a match on Shabbos. That's stoning, right? They were, according to all of the rules, that's cruel, that's crazy. What are you lost your mind? If somebody has a problem with that, it's the same thing as somebody has any problem with the Huntington disease, Sorry, this is not something that we created, it's something that God created. Nothing is nothing bad coming down from God. So the fact that you don't understand it, that's your problem. So that's number one. Now, let's just add to the questions that you ask. How come how come it says this, and where do we see it? The mitzvah that she first tells her not to do is Tchum Shabbat, right? And then Yichud, that she cannot be alone with a man that's not her husband. Those two mitzvot are midrabanan. They're not mitzvot midoraita. They're not like Shabbat. They're not like kashrut. They're not like tefillin.
Tchum Shabbat. That is Shabbos.
No, it's not midoraita. It's midrabanan. According to Rabbi Kiva, it's midoraita. But most the halacha is that it's not. It's not. There are those who say ish lo yakum ish mimkomo. So there is a mention already in the Torah, and it can. According to some, it's considered, but the halacha is that it's midarabanan.
What is it again? Say what's
Tchum Shabbat. Not to walk too far. The walking too far. Yeah.
Okay.
So, why is that? Why was that told? So, and then the obvious questions that we ask: Why are we talking about? Arba mitot beis din, is that the first thing that you tell a convert not that you can get killed if you do something, and why mention the Taryag mitzvot after mentioning Shabbat? I mean, mention Taryag mitzvot first. You have Taryag mitzvot. One of them is this and that and the other, and eventually you're going to get to the one that are seemingly less important, that are seemingly midarabanan. So this is what the explanation that the Rebbe gave. Now, why am I making such a big thing about it? Because at the time after he gave this talk, that was in Tafshin Lamed Aleph. That was the time that there was a big fight in Israel about Chok HaShvut, about Mir Yehudi, about defining in the law who is a real Jew. And the Rebbe was fighting very hard to make sure that a Jew is someone who was born to a Jewish mother or was converted kahalacha. And they took the word kahalacha from the law, and which created a lot of problems. And you fool people. You tell them they're Jews, but they're not. They're not Jewish. So the kids are being fooled, and I mean it causes a lot of problems for generations. So the Rebbe was fighting very hard. So when he was saying this, he gave an instruction to really work the language in a plausible way, so it can be published in all the papers, and it became a big thing. These few psukim. So the point is that once she said, "Listen, don't beg me to, stop begging me to leave," she basically said, "I want to convert." She put the line in the sand. This is it. I am in. So at that point, it became a very practical procedure to get her from point A to point B, to get her through the conversion process. So the first thing, there are two main things that every convert should understand. Number one is the hama'aseh wa'ikar, that the actions, the actual doing the mitzvahs, that's the main thing. Philosophy, understanding, your feelings, all of that is nice and dandy. But that's second. First is hama'aseh wa'ikar. First they have to actually do what you need to do. Now, what's the implication? The implication is that when a ger is coming, they went to the mikveh, right? And after the mikveh, they went to celebrate in a restaurant, right? So the first thing that they have to do is to wash for the food, is to say the bracha on the food. Whenever they join us, they have to do what's happening right now. So they went to the mikveh, a few minutes before sundown. And, it's let's say it's a man and it's time to daven ma'ariv. They have to daven ma'ariv. Just like a bar mitzvah boy. That's the first thing, that the first mitzvah that the bar mitzvah boy does is Ma'ariv, is Shema Israel, because it's sundown for the day, right? We count the next day, so it's sundown. So that's the first mitzvah. The same thing with a ger. The first thing they have to do is what's coming. Now, what happened here? Where are we standing? So we are on the first day of Pesach here. So this discussion, soon we'll see that when they arrived in Israel, they arrived betchilat ktsir chitim, in the beginning, after they sacrificed their own, on the second day of Pesach. That's when they arrived in Israel. So this conversation happened either the day before or the Erev Yontif, one of the two. So what is the mitzvah of the day? They are far away from Bet HaMikdash. They're on their way. They cannot actually participate in the Pesach, so they're exempt from that. But what is the very first thing that they can do?
No.
They don't have matzah.
No.
They don't have matzah. And matzah is the first thing that they have to do. Once she decided during Yontif, she cannot move more than Tchum Shabbat. More than the 2,000 amot. 2,000. Yes, she has to stop. So that's the first mitzvah that she encountered.
Oh, wait a minute, is it Shabbos or
Yontif,
Pesach?
Yontif Pesach.
Yontif you don't have to put, that doesn't apply to you.
That's Tchum is applied to Yontif as well. Carrying is allowed.
Yeah.
But to walk far away, you can't. You cannot walk far away, too far away.
So it's like Shabbos.
In that sense.
Okay.
So that's the very first thing that she had to do. Now,
Why did they say you can't walk that far? It's just the law? Was there a reason behind
because it's the whole idea of Shabbat and Yom Tov is to rest.
So when you're walking that far, it's more of a hike than
it's a hike. Yeah, it's exercise.
I didn't realize you couldn't do it on Yontif.
So even today, you're not supposed to? So you can't walk to West Orange for Shabbos or something like that?
Now, West Orange and us, we share an Eruv. So it's considered one area, one spot.
But if you didn't share an area?
So you can't. Technically, you can't.
Without
If
If you're not carrying anything?
not carrying, right? You cannot walk on Shabbos more outside of an Eruv. You cannot walk. When we were in yeshiva, and we would have arrange Mesibot Shabbat parties for the kids in Shabbos afternoon. So some of us went to one side of the city, some of us went to the other side of the city, and the city didn't have an Eruv. So each one of us would put an Eruv, 2,000 amot, to the other direction, so we can walk to the two different directions.
Is that from the synagogue or from your house? You can't walk that.
From wherever you are at sundown.
An Erev or a meal?
Outside the area.
The meal is what happens is if you want to sort of go 4,000 amot,
Right.
you say that on Erev Yontif, where my main station is not here, is where my meal is.
Right.
So you put the meal 2,000 amot away from
That's
you,
how you'll extend
and
it.
that's how you
That's
extend
extended.
it. Right.
And you're
it's from
getting
the
lots
edge
of
of the
meals.
Eruv.
So
It's from the edge of the Eruv, if there was. Right, but we didn't have an Eruv there, so we had to do it. Yeah.
You just keep walking, you just keep putting food out.
So we're probably going to end up finishing this next time because Mincha is going to be in 2 minutes. But the point is that the next mitzvah was, now that we have to stay here, we need to sleep. We cannot, So if you need to sleep, you have to know how. You can't just walk, go to any, hostel and sleep there in a general room with some other people. You have to be, you have to do it the right way. And then because the next thing that a convert needs to know is that the Torah and the mitzvot came from God, and therefore there are no returns. You cannot say, well, this is too cruel, I want a refund. It's not Amazon. Whatever it is, and you have to accept it all, even mitzvot miderabanan. That's why he mentioned she mentioned to her, not some very important mitzvot, lo tirtzach, lo tignov, whatever, kashrut. She mentioned to her mitzvot that are seemingly, people are, seemingly insignificant. But they are as significant as all the other mitzvot, as the most important, whatever we think is important. That's the basic law. And if you have questions, good, you have questions. But that's, it does not, you have to work with the questions, So at that point, she started telling her about the laws of the punishments that seems cruel and seems irrational. When someone is killing someone, okay, you understand, you'll kill him. When someone is lighting a match, death, it's a little crazy, it's a little cruel. Yes, that's the way it is. And that's not the only cruelty. The additional cruelty is that person, after they got the punishment, they cannot even be buried together with everybody else. That's why you have to know the extent of it. And if you have a problem with it, go together with the Rupa, have Goliath too. We don't need it. I'm just trying to see what we can do in a minute. Anyway, and after that, after you accept that the Maaseh Ikar, then you can say Velokayach Elohai. Right? After you're talking about the mitzvot, even the mitzvot that seems insignificant, even the mitzvot that are that are not written in the Torah, that are midirabanan, then she told her about the rest of the mitzvot, all the 613, and then she mentioned to her, now you also have to believe, and no idol worship, which is the more the theological part of the conversion. We'll repeat it next time a little more.
The 613 is the Raisa.
What?
The 613 mitzvot.
Right.